The grand memorial service taking place in Johannesburg for anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela. 91 heads of state, 10 former heads of state and 75 dignitaries and 86 international delegations have gathered in Johannesburg to pay tribute to Madiba. The memorial to remember the former South African president will be held at the 95,000-seat football stadium in Soweto. These are live pictures that we're getting you from the football stadium where Nelson Mandela made his last public appearance at the 2010 World Cup. Dignitaries and heads of state of almost 100 countries have gathered there in Johannesburg to pay respect to Nelson Mandela. Members of the public and heads of state attending this function, which 11,000 South African troops are securing. This is one of the most high-profile event any of the countries has seen in several years. The heads of state that are present at this service are David Cameron, Prime Minister of Britain, US President Barack Obama. Also expected to make an appearance is Francois Hollande, the former head of state, and Nicolas Sarkozy. Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary General, is also expected to be present there. Oprah Winfrey is also someone who will be there. She's someone who says that she's met Mandela on several occasions and described her relationship with him as a friend, mentor and inspiration. Let's get in a word from our correspondent Rasesh Mandani, who's joining us from Johannesburg this afternoon. Rasesh, take us through the preparations that you are seeing around you, and what's the mood like? Are you also seeing lots of people, lots of locals, people from the general public?
Oh yes, there is massive facilities being provided for people to flock to the stadium. Of course, there's a metro rail facility available. There are special vehicles being arranged for the public so that people could be there at the FNB stadium itself. That just shows that many people around here in Johannesburg want to express their gratitude to the man who they believe is the very reason why they are living free existence. There's so many landmarks places in this city itself. There's of course the famous Nelson Mandela Square where the 6-feet Mandela statue is there, and that place has been flooded with people for the past few days ever since he's passed away. People wanting to express his gratitude, to click pictures with that iconic statue, and then of course at the FNB Stadium it's a congregation of mass leaders from around the world. It's quite rare for a tall leader to have this sort of congregation where the who's who of the diplomatic circuit around the world are here, and that just shows the impact of the man. The common man, of course, is here, and the leaders around the world here to pay their respects.
Absolutely. Despite the rains and the overcast cloud, thousands have gathered there at the stadium to pay their last respects to Nelson Mandela. And Rasesh, what's interesting is that almost 91 leaders from across the world, some of them who even locked in enmity, they're flying there together to pay respect to Madiba.
Oh yes, one and all are there. Like I said, the tall leaders from around the world. The President Obama expected to be here, and then of course the President of India, and from all around the world. For a place like India, for which there's got obviously this special attachment with Nelson Mandela. Remember being a great follower of Mahatma Gandhi.
Rasesh, I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. There you can see on your screens live pictures. Indian President Pranab Mukherjee also being led into the stadium. President Pranab Mukherjee is one of the dignitaries making an appearance there. Remember, 91 heads of states, 10 former heads of state and 75 dignitaries and 86 delegations from various organizations from across the world are present at this football stadium in Soweto. Rasesh Mandani, our correspondent, is getting us the latest. Rasesh, have you also been able to spot Nelson Mandela's family? We seem to have lost that line with Rasesh. We'll try and reconnect with him. These are live pictures that we're getting you from Johannesburg. World leaders getting together in a huge memorial service for anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela, who passed away last week at the age of 95. On your screens, the visuals of Indian President Pranab Mukherjee being greeted by the organizers there. We're seeing several heads of state. British Prime Minister David Cameron and US President Barack Obama are among some of the leaders who are present. Leaders from across the state, in fact, what we were talking about, some of them even locked in enmity. People who don't see, leaders who don't see eye to eye on several issues are getting together in the stadium, united in grief as they bid farewell to Madiba. Let's listen in to the speeches being made at the stadium.
Don't push that
This, I believe, we were showing you pictures of Nelson Mandela's family. Now again, pictures of former heads of state and dignitaries being led into the stadium, all getting together under one roof to pay tribute to former South African president and anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela, who passed away last week at the age of 95. Nelson Mandela was also the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. He served as the president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the first black South African to hold the office and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. We're seeing heads of states of 91 countries, 10 former heads of states, 75 dignitaries, and 86 delegations. Clearly, this indicates the popularity of the one man who they have all gathered to pay tribute to. Nelson Mandela, remember, served over 27 years in prison. An international campaign, in fact, lobbied for his release. He was released finally in 1990 during a time of escalating civil strife. Mandela joined negotiations with the then president to abolish apartheid and establish multiracial elections in 1994. He was then elected president, the first black South African president in 1994. He served from then to 1999. He's someone who people say could have been elected president for life, but he chose not to do so. He wanted to work for the people. Rasesh Mandani is joining us on the phone line from Johannesburg. Rasesh, have you been able to spot Nelson Mandela's family?
Well, the Mandela family is here. Not that been able to spot it. It has been difficult, for working for the media from a distance, of course. But it's interesting. There's a point that was raised earlier about the fact that Mandela family would have to at a time of grief, would have to share Mandela's passing away with the entire world in such public view. But the overall perspective here, of course, is that Nelson Mandela, Madiba, as they they fondly call him here, transcends boundaries of families. He was Madiba literally means father, and he was a father of people here of South Africa, of course, and one and all believe that he was part of their own family. It's interesting. The people of all races, people of all ages have been here. In fact, hours after his passing away, people were here outside his residence here at Houston, and and that transcends all the races. In fact, white-skinned people, blacks, of course, the local residents here, everyone wanting to pay their respects. And there's a lot of emotion involved in this country, and there's a different way through which they express it. There's a lot of song and dance goes on, which they say is their way of celebrating his life for what he's been able to provide to them. And of course, there are those who can't stop tears of what they've seen. They've seen freedom in front of their eyes. 20-25 years ago, and they can relate with the man. So family and in fact whole of the country believes that Mandela is part of their own family, and they're all braving the rains here and the weather and the traffic to be here to be a part of the whole entire occasion.
Absolutely. Nelson Mandela was known as the father of the nation, also someone who called himself a Gandhian. Rasesh, there was also a strong Indian connect. Nelson Mandela often spoke about him being influenced by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes, interesting, isn't it, Simi, that he's the only non-Indian to have received a Bharat Ratna, and that's for that very reason, that he was a strong believer in Gandhian values. In fact, Mandela did say previously that he believes he should not be compared with Gandhi because he thought he had his own weaknesses, while Mahatma Gandhi did not. That just shows the values of the man. Yes, he was a strong believer. In fact, he started off differently in his early days, freedom struggle, of course, but then gradually adopted the his life. And yes, someone who very strongly believed in those principles, and that's the connect between Gandhiji and Nelson Mandela in India and South Africa.
Right, and Rasesh, people fondly remember him as Madiba, the father of the nation. Also someone, despite his huge popularity, someone who was known for his humility, someone who connected directly with the people.
Yes, everyone here has got their own stories to tell. In fact, I met a family here, residing in Johannesburg, and the lady had a picture of his 10-year-old son clicked with Nelson Mandela. And his son could not come in the wee hours of the morning the day he passed away. But there she was with tearful eyes, showing us the picture in front of the camera, and telling us that she would find it difficult to explain it to her son that he's no more, because he would find it difficult to come to terms with it. So everyone has got their own stories to tell, and it's not often that such a tall leader has got personal experiences with so many of the commoners, but he was someone who met the people, who broke the security barriers to meet everyone, and most people here across races and ages have got their own stories to tell about Nelson Mandela.